Group of women journalists and editors of the SABC Newsroom have expressed their deep concern that violence against women, including female journalists, is on the rise. They say they are shocked and devastated by the brutal attack on their colleague, SABC's Lesedi FM Dimakatso Ratselane. As we've just been telling you, the group say they commit themselves to honour the best journalistic practices of covering all forms of domestic abuse. And for more on this, we speak to SABC Economics Editor Thandeka Gqubule-Mbeki. Thandeka, a very good evening to you. A sad day. Just tell us how everybody has been receiving the news.
We are so shocked. We are utterly gutted. Just to see the brutality with which our colleague was assaulted, this level of cruelty and the attempt made to dehumanize her and to dehumanize women, we just felt that we could not remain silent, Tsepi. So a number of us gathered in this subdued and somber newsroom to put our heads together to say, what could we do? And we decided that we could not remain silent and that we must use the weapon of our pens and our lenses to shine a spotlight on the scourge of society and to recommit ourselves to honor the best journalistic practices to cover all forms of domestic violence, like human trafficking, female abduction, violent ukutwala, child molestation, rape, female mutilation, workplace harassment, sexual harassment, honor crimes, and unlawful child marriages. And we also noted with concern the rise of cyberbullying and defamatory bullying directed at women journalists and their reputations. And we feel that we are honor-bound anyway to employ the best standards and values of journalism to shine a spotlight on this. But we do so now with more vigor as an homage to Dimakatso, many of us in the newsroom know her well. Colleagues who worked in the Free State know her bubbly personality and know that she herself has covered these issues and has used her mic to speak out against these issues.
And Thandeka, I want to talk especially about that, employing the best journalistic practices in reporting on stories like this, because half of the time it is ignored the violence wrought on those behind the mic, not only having to read about those stories, but report them in the so-called objective manner. So how can we humanize those who tell the stories while they try to humanize those who are victims?
The first thing that we must do as journalists, and we have begun to do this in our newsrooms, the newsrooms of the SABC throughout the country, is to treat the victims with dignity. Our Constitution has a jurisprudence of dignity, and we need to treat the victims with belief that they often face a bias in society where victims are not believed. In our search for truth, we should begin by believing the victim and then verifying the stories and corroborating the stories to highlight the plight. We also have an obligation to create an enabling and a safe and trustful environment and climate for women and girls so that they can freely exercise their rights to free speech and to talk to us in the spirit of freedom and safety, and so that we can arrive at doing richer stories, more textured stories that can bring more justice and more fairness to the plight of women.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, SABC Economics Editor Thandeka Gqubule-Mbeki.